What's going on, guys? It's been a little bit, and I figured we can talk about this haul video. One that I will have the pleasure to talk to you guys about. One that was at the beginning of the year, and I'm behind, but I'm definitely excited to talk about this one. This is a new convention, which surprised me that they actually announced this last year. Now, this one is called, obviously, you guys can see the title, Animate Raleigh. The Animate ones are part of the GalaxyCon circuit, but what I've noticed is that a lot of conventions now are trying to have their own separate thing, whereas rather than just having it as one. And I think this is cool because this was the first year that they did it here in Raleigh, and it was very, very well received. Looking at the news and remembering some of it, they made profit. They made money off of them actually being here. Not just the guests, but the surrounding city. And for when it was January, it's a very positive thing. And so I'm very happy that they were able to have something positive in a month that isn't really great for both creators and businesses. It's January, and now obviously we're further along in the year now, but I would say that that's great overall just to have this convention. And what really made it great is that it's in the normal venue that it's normally at, but we went and it was so quiet. Like, we went on a Saturday, and me and my wife, she's not in this one, but she and I had planned, like, okay, because we were going to a convention on that Friday, that weekend, and then we were like, we gotta squeeze this in. There's no way we can miss this. A lot of voice actors that we wanted to meet was going to be here, and we were prepared. We prepared ourselves with weeks in advance, because it's like, we gotta find the best way of attack. We gotta find who we can talk to, because you gotta plan these things. You know, just because you want to meet that certain guest doesn't mean that person's gonna be as accessible as you think. And that's something we noticed in conventions. It's not always that case. And so it's one of the things that, we definitely need to be careful of, and that goes for anybody. But we met a ton of people, we got a ton of things signed, and a lot of different experiences. And I gotta say, it was awesome. This convention so far has been my favorite of all year, and that's crazy because that was on the first weekend of January, first weekend of the year. That's a very high thing to say, and like I said, it's insane for me to be saying something like that. But as often as I've been going to these conventions, I can safely feel like I can say that. But anyway, guys, I have been talking, and I've been showing you some of the things that we got signed. Most of them Funkos, obviously, but they're fantastic. So let's go ahead and start with someone who we've had the pleasure of meeting before, but always enjoy his company. Brian Drummond, who is the voice of Vegeta, the OG Vegeta, over 9,000, my friends, for those that know. And of course, Ryuk. We had to meet Ryuk. And again, a pleasure to meet him. He didn't have a line. He may have had maybe 5 people at best in front of us at the time. And he was so nice, and like drawing that little apple. And that's one thing I'll say about these voice actors. Yes, they are charging more. It's not because of them, it's their agents. But they are doing a little more creativity when it comes to their signatures. And I can only say thank you, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly. Truly and honestly. Like, I'm glad they do that. So, pleasure to meet him again. This is our second time meeting him. The first time we did was in Texas. We may see him again, actually, in Tennessee, which is a convention we plan on going to later in the year. And that may be a vlog. I'm not sure. But I'm looking forward to that. Next person, I'm going to go ahead and just knock this person out. They're a 2-for-1 special. And what I mean by that is that this person voiced 2 different characters. None other than Jamie Marchi, who voiced Mount Lady, who I absolutely love getting to meet her again. We actually met her for the first time in one of our earlier conventions when it was in Raleigh and still considered SUBCRIBERS. So it was really cool to be able to have met her and actually getting something signed. We just saw her, we talked to her a little bit because it was one of those things where it's like she didn't have much of a crowd. And in this one she didn't either, which is fantastic. She signed our Liz from Soul Eater. She said symmetry is overrated. Absolutely love that. And Liz on the back. And then, of course, with Mount Lady here, she said, I believe in you, baby heroes. And then money shot on the side here with a picture. Like I said, some of these are like, yes, they do charge or whatever for it, but she did that one for free. Like, she was just talking to us, and she was a pleasure. Truly a pleasure to be able to talk to, and just got that signature, and honestly, it was just really, really cool. So I really enjoyed that. This one was a surprise to me because I wasn't expecting this out of this person, but I've watched enough of this. I want to continue watching this. This is one of my wife's favorite. Excuse me. Sailor Moon. We got to meet Tuxedo Mask, Robbie Damon, and he's awesome, cool little dude. Put the little flower on there. Absolutely love the guy. He was phenomenal with fans. Absolute gem of a dude. He's actually really cool, and he did have a line. I will say he did have a line. But it was worth meeting. I will say he was worth meeting. He was really nice overall. A chill dude. Really was personal with all his people. Didn't take too long, but he was personable, and that's something that I will respect when it comes to people like that. Jade Saxton, voice of Carla. She was, I want to say, a little bit short. She was nice. I love her signature. Very beautiful. The J and the S, very well done. I absolutely love Carla's character. She had no line. Absolutely no line. And she, like I said, was really short, but I will say I liked her. I absolutely liked her personality, like how she was, how she, just kind of was, to the point, but just chill. I guess that would be the best way to say it. Another one that we got to meet more into Disney and re-meeting, and this time, this was my first time meeting her, and this is Paige O'Hara. Belle, absolutely love. My wife loves her, and she's a great voice actress. Always been the voice of Belle, and she's just really sweet, really nice. She's getting older. She may have been a little off of it when we saw her, but she could have been distracted. I don't know, but she was still nice, really nice. Had no line, which was great, and that's one of the best parts of this convention. And I truly enjoyed. The voice of Gaston was there as well. Can't remember his name on the top of my head. There's some that I can't remember right now. It's been a few weeks, and that's on me. But here, Richard White. Thank you. He actually wrote his name on there. We actually asked how he got the part. Same applied to Paige actually, but he went more in depth with it, and he actually was telling us how he had basically, they were wanting to have Broadway actors to audition. They wanted it to be kind of like a musical, which is why they have the play, and I understand that. And he got the call. He got the part, and so he had acting experience because of theater, but voice acting was different, and so he enjoyed it. And he's phenomenal as Gaston. Everybody knows Gaston in the world of Disney, so absolutely loved him. Speaking of more Disney here, the voice of Thumper, we had him, and nice older gentleman. I guess you could say he was actually the first person we met, had no line, and really good guy. I think his last name, I can't remember his name on here. I can't read it very well, but Thumper was the thing he did, and that was what he was back in the day. And he was a kid when they had him, and it was really cool. Nice chill dude. Now this was really cool. We got to meet the voice of Bambi, who he also had other acting roles, and he actually told us that when he was a little kid, when they were auditioning and whatnot, and getting the roles and whatnot, he got to meet Walt Disney. And that's awesome. Like, I'm sure that the voice actor for Thumper may have met him, but maybe it wasn't something he brought up. But he got into the story, and he said that many people would have not believed it, But Walt Disney was a hardworking man. He had rolled up his sleeves. He was all up in there working, helping out, very attentive to his employees and to the children. Overall, everyone of all ages, he was really nice to. And he's like, any flack that he may have gotten, it's not true. I was there. My parents, me and my parents, we were very poor, and he, took care of us. And that was something that he'll always appreciate. Like he said that for them, it was like, just a random chance that Walt Disney got to cast him himself. And that was, again, a great story. I was honestly perplexed that he actually told us all this information. I was not expecting that. And so much respect to the guy, really, truly, and honestly. Now, this one right here is a 2-for-1er. Don Bennett, who voiced Frosh and voiced Setsuna from My Hero Academia. Okay, so let's go with the bad first. She was a little difficult in the sense of trying to charge more for not having our names than to sign our names and charge us $20 less. It really was baffling to me because she was the only person to do this. And I'll be honest, I'm not trying to talk trash. I'm not. But Don Bennett isn't really high up there when it comes to names that you would resell, because a lot of people would not recognize her name. Now, she does a lot of work in video games, and she wants to do more video game work, and that's awesome. But for you to charge more, regardless of what you think, and possible resellers, that's up to the person who gets your signature. But we have mostly the wife. Wife will do quotes and the signature. But she doesn't like to have our names on there. I don't care either way. Truly and honestly, I don't care either way. But the wife does. And therefore, if the wife cares, I have to care. And so it was a little more of a hassle, more than it should have. But it was a little uncomfortable too. And I think she was as well. But once we talked to her about a little bit of other stuff, which, like I just mentioned, she was more cool. She was more willing to talk. And so that was actually kind of nice. I will say. Sorry, Jade Saxton was also this one, and I don't know why I missed this one, but she was also Kendo from My Hero Academia. I did not see that, and I apologize, but she was also, one of I don't know. I feel a little embarrassed that I missed Jade's other one. We got 2 of them signed. She was also 2-for-1. Now, this one, I can't remember her name all the way, but I feel so bad for not knowing her name. I'll mention her name in post production here or whatever. But Mei Hatsume, like, we've got to meet her, and she's the voice of Sunsetto, and we had met her before, and it was really cool. I wish I could remember her name. I, for the life of me, cannot, and I am so sorry, because she's one of those voice actresses that is OG and didn't have like any line either. Don Bennett didn't have much of a line. The Bambi guy didn't have much of a line. Obviously, I already mentioned Thumper. Everyone else didn't have much of a line except for Robbie Damon at that point. He is, of everybody here that I've talked about so far, had a line. So, insane. But, yeah. Gosh, I wish I remember her name. I really don't. But, again, I will add that name afterwards. Those are all the Funkos we got signed. Total of 13 Funkos, which is insane. We don't ever get that. Now, mind you, this is all on Saturday, and we were meeting these people maybe 10-15 minutes and hardly in a line. I, again, was so surprised. But continuing forward, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some Adult Swim memories here. Now, I absolutely loved Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Absolutely did. Growing up, quick backstory, my sisters and I would wake up early in the morning. We wouldn't stay up late because it was normally weekdays, because we had to go to school. We were in bed by like 10 or whatever, and we would get up. My mom would wake us up, and we would eat breakfast. And by the time my mom was out the door, because she had to leave, or she had to work at 7. My dad had to work at 7, and so we were, getting ready, eating breakfast, and Adult Swim was still on because we would have we weren't on the West Coast, but we'd still have the West Coast showing up on TV. So we would have the East Coast and then the West Coast, and we would see the 15-minute episodes of Aqua Teen. That was like our daily routine as we're eating our oatmeal, eggs, or whatever we're having for breakfast, and we would be watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And so this person had been to every convention in Raleigh, and I had, for whatever reason, just never got to meet him. It was more of a joke between me and my wife, but I'm thankful to have met him, and he is freaking hilarious. I hate myself for not being able to meet him sooner, but Dane Snyder is hilarious. Now, this is a vintage collectible that the wife had gotten me to get signed, and I absolutely love this one, and I've watched this episode many times now, and I'm not going to repeat the whole conversation that we had, because, quite honestly, it's best that I don't, but it was a very memorable conversation that we had, and I absolutely love that he personalized this right here to where it will remind me forever of our conversation, even if he forgets. But I absolutely love this so much. He was fun to meet, and I didn't just meet him. I actually got this also from him, but I also got to meet the voice actors of Meatwad and Frylock, which was so awesome. I think that it was so cool to have all three of them signed. I love number 1 in the hood, G, and just Master Shake, rule your face. Oh my god, that was great. Absolutely, meeting those 3 guys was phenomenal. I asked Carrie, I was like, do you hope for more? I absolutely hope for more. And he was real. And here's the thing too with Dana. Dana's line wasn't long, but he is a talker. My god, this dude loved to talk. He loved to talk anyone's head off. And we were in line for almost an hour with maybe 7 people in front of us. And when he came to us, he talked to us for like, I want to say 30 minutes. No, 30 minutes is too long. 20-something minutes. And God, this dude just loved talking. But I'm hoping for another season of Aqua Teen because I will be watching. I also was mind blown when Dave, the voice of Meatwad, was also the voice of Carl and the voice of the Mooninites. And I'm like, dude, you were everybody. And I love Carl. Unfortunately, I kept looking back at the back of this earlier, and they don't have a freaking, like, well, they have Meatwad, but I don't know that I can get a Meatwad. I want a Carl. I absolutely love Carl. Carl is like my typical older guy that you would love to have. An older New Jersey guy, and I love that the show takes place in New Jersey as I'm from Jersey, and so just having to see that is great. You know, I completely missed that growing up, and then as I've been rewatching some of the episodes, I remember that detail. And now, finally, the last person that we got to meet was by far my favorite person, and I posted this on Instagram. Follow me there if you haven't. When I took the pictures that day or the day after, and that was none other than the great Gary Anthony Williams. He doesn't have anything to sign. I had to get this presidential picture of Uncle Ruckus, no relation, and I'll read it to you guys. I'm gonna read it in my voice, but you guys can picture his voice. And I'm not gonna say my name in here, but like, it was phenomenal to have met this guy. He loves doing the voice. He loves the characters. He loves what he does. Just awesome guy. I cannot stress how much I absolutely love meeting this dude. It says, "You damn Mexican, you. I can't believe you got this beautiful white woman. I can't trust you, but I kind of respect you. Now get back to Mexico. Uncle Ruckus, no relation." I absolutely love meeting him. And I'm still like, I need to get this framed because I want this forever, because I absolutely love Uncle Ruckus. He is my favorite character on the show, outside of Huey. I absolutely love those two characters. And I mean, I loved Granddad, and R.I.P. to John Witherspoon, but Gary Anthony Williams for me was just such a great character, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love getting to meet the guy and just have a great time. He also didn't have a line, so overall, this convention is the best to me. Just it brings out the best in like Adult Swim, Disney, and anime. Like, I was so surprised at how much I was able to meet, how many people I was able to see, and like just overall how easy that just Saturday. We didn't even go back Sunday. We wanted to meet one other person who I think it was either Eric Vale or someone else. And we weren't able to meet him just because that line was always, it's whatever you see, Chris Sabat, Eric Vale, Zach Aguilar, you see Monica Rial, you see trying to think who else, Robbie Damon, Johnny Young Bosch. You think of all those people, they'll always have Sean Schemmel long lines, huge lines, and it's like, man, unless I have nothing else to do, I have nowhere else to be, I'll wait in that line. But those lines are criminal. Those are lines you have to be at the beginning. Like, you have to get there as soon as the doors open. And so, I was just happy to have met all these people. Some are, for me, legendary voice actors that deserve more credit. I hated some of those lines were empty. And obviously, I'm used to an older generation of anime, and they're voicing newer things, but come on, these guys deserve the respect. The new guys are cool, but I don't know. Some are cool, like they're honestly like awesome. Others just, no, I don't want you touching an anime that I care for. Let's just put it that way. But overall, this was a great experience. And to be honest with you, I don't know that it'll happen again. Not me going. That's not what I'm referring to. But as calm as this was, I feel like next year will probably be... It's already announced. It'll also be on the same weekend, same first weekend of the year. I don't know that it'll be as quiet. I think there will be a ton of people like it would be on a regular. But we'll just have to wait and see. But guys, I've been talking for over 20 minutes. I apologize. Truly and honestly, this was just a great experience. I've really enjoyed this, and this was well overdue. So, again, thank you so much. If you guys went to that convention, let me know what you got to see, who you got to meet, what did you get signed if you did, or what did you get from the convention, Was this your first convention? All that good stuff, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to know your thoughts. As always, though, guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves and others, and I will catch you all later.